Have you ever watched the movie Transformers? Have you ever seen the scene where the Transformers are battling in the center of New York City? Well, that scene was actually filmed shortly before one of the most devastating events in modern history occurred in that same location, the 9/11 attacks. The 9/11 attacks were a series of planned terrorist attacks that occurred on September 11, 2001. The most infamous of these attacks targeted the World Trade Center in New York City, where two of the world's most iconic skyscrapers were destroyed, becoming the focus of global shock and outrage. The Pentagon, located in Washington, D.C., was also attacked, resulting in hundreds of deaths and injuries. This event not only caused immense pain and suffering for the American people, but also shocked the world and became one of the most influential and transformative terrorist attacks in modern history. Although this event brought about sadness and destruction, it also prompted people to pay more attention to global counterterrorism efforts and security issues, as well as to strengthen international cooperation in preventing the spread of terrorism and safeguarding world peace and stability. Therefore, it is important for us to delve deeper into the details of this event, as well as its impact and lessons for the global community. Event Overview. On the morning of September 11, 2001, at approximately 8:46 a.m. Eastern Time, 5 terrorists hijacked American Airlines Flight 11 and deliberately crashed it into the North Tower of the World Trade Center in New York City, causing extensive damage and loss of life. Within minutes, the building was engulfed in flames, and hundreds of people were trapped or killed. The tower collapsed 56 minutes later, burying many people in the rubble. At 9:03 a.m., another hijacked plane, United Airlines Flight 175, crashed into the South Tower of the World Trade Center, causing similar destruction and loss of life. The building was also engulfed in flames and collapsed 56 minutes later, causing additional casualties. Another building, World Trade Center Building 7, collapsed at around 5:20 p.m. that day due to fires and structural damage. In addition to the attacks on the World Trade Center, terrorists also hijacked American Airlines Flight 77 at 9:37 a.m. and crashed it into the Pentagon in Washington, D.C., killing 189 people, including Pentagon employees and passengers. The final hijacked plane, United Airlines Flight 93, crashed in a field in Pennsylvania at 10:03 a.m. on the same day. It is believed that the terrorists were attempting to crash the plane into another iconic building in Washington, D.C., possibly the White House. According to reports at the time, the plane may have crashed as a result of passengers fighting back against the hijackers. The attacks resulted in nearly 3,000 deaths, including people from over 90 countries. This included 246 passengers and employees on the planes, 125 people at the Pentagon, and 343 New York City firefighters and police officers. Thousands of others were injured as a result of the attacks. Attackers and their organization. The U.S. government investigation found that the 9/11 attacks were planned and executed by Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda is a terrorist organization founded by Osama bin Laden, aimed at overthrowing the governments of non-Islamic countries and establishing Islamic theocracy. 19 terrorists participated in the attacks, including 15 from Saudi Arabia, 2 from the United Arab Emirates, 1 from Egypt, and 1 from Lebanon. Many of them had received training for terrorist attacks at Al-Qaeda training camps in Afghanistan. These terrorists brought weapons such as knives and box cutters onto the planes by disguising themselves as passengers. They exploited vulnerabilities and security loopholes, such as passing through airport security checks, using plastic knives, and unlocked cockpit doors. These vulnerabilities have been repaired and strengthened to improve aviation safety. Domestic response. The 9/11 attacks had a profound impact on the United States domestically. The U.S. government immediately took a series of measures to strengthen domestic security and combat terrorism. U.S. President George W. Bush declared a state of war across the country and launched the War on Terror. On October 7, 2001, the U.S. began military operations in Afghanistan to overthrow the Taliban regime and destroy al-Qaeda. This war lasted until 2014. At the same time, the U.S. government passed a series of legislative measures, such as the Patriot Act, to strengthen domestic security and anti-terrorism efforts. These measures included expanding the federal government's surveillance powers over private communications and enhancing monitoring of terrorist financial activities. In addition, the 9/11 attacks also had a profound impact on American society, triggering nationalist sentiments and discrimination against Muslims, leading to some anti-Muslim remarks and behaviors. International reaction. The 9/11 attack not only shook the United States, but also garnered widespread attention and condemnation internationally. The United Nations Security Council passed a resolution condemning the attack and calling on countries to enhance cooperation and jointly combat terrorism. Many countries expressed condolences to the victims and their families, showing solidarity with the United States and supporting its anti-terrorism actions. Western countries, such as the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and Germany, joined the United States' anti-terrorism efforts and, to some extent, changed their foreign policies and security strategies. However, some countries criticized the United States' anti-terrorism actions, believing that the war on terrorism has led to more terrorism and civil discontent, and damaged international peace and security. In addition, some Islamic countries expressed concerns and opposition to the United States' anti-terrorism actions, fearing that such actions could harm innocent civilians and exacerbate discrimination against Islam. Overall, the 9/11 attack had a profound impact on the international community, sparking a global fight against terrorism and promoting international cooperation and coordination in anti-terrorism and security fields. Due to the severity and impact of the 9/11 attacks, research and exploration into this event have been ongoing. There are many academic studies and analyses on the event itself, as well as the reasons, impacts, and consequences behind it.